Good evening, dear viewers. This is George from Ireland. Here I am outside Buckingham Palace, which you might recognise, and this is one of the must-sees of London. So there's been a house here for centuries. There was Ebury House, then it was knocked down and rebuilt as Buckingham House, owned by Lord Buckingham. You can't see most of the original Buckingham House. It's behind here. It's sandstone, early 18th century. What you can see is this grey Portland stone out front. That was only completed in 1910. The royal family only purchased this in 1760. It is not now and never has been their official residence. However, it is their largest palace in the centre of London. So it's the one most closely associated with them. Anyway, you can see these large gates here, only completed in 1910. Look very carefully on the stonework. They've carved in two angels holding up the crown, and there's some leaves there in this, what would I call it, laurel wreath. And it looks like leeks, as in the symbol of Wales. So all the symbolism is very careful. You see the lion and the unicorn on the gate, and then the palm leaves, perhaps denoting dominion over tropical regions. And there's a crown on the lion, and there's a smaller lion above the other crown. So there's a coat of arms, and the little lion on top here, that's the crest. That's what crest actually means. And you can see the royal coat of arms with the lion rampant of Scotland, as in he's standing on two legs. There are the three lions of England. Originally they indicated Normandy. Then there's the harp with the body of a woman on it, which is a symbol of Ireland. I know the major portion of Ireland is not part of the United Kingdom anymore. So there's that balcony in the middle, and the royal family comes out there on rare occasions, such as royal weddings, or perhaps, it was the 50th anniversary of VE Day, things like that. So there'll be a big red, what would I call it, awning hanging off from that when they're about to come out. So the Queen is all the first one to come out. She's not in residence right now. The Union flag, that's to say the British flag, is up there. Because there's no wind, it's not flapping out for you to see. She's in Balmoral. Every August since about 1861, the royal family goes to Balmoral in Scotland for August. So that's their private retreat. They never invite official guests there. It's where they can be somewhere out of the glare of the media. So Queen Victoria bought that after the death of her husband, Prince Albert. You can go into Buckingham Palace. You'd have to go round to the right. You can't see the entrance. It's £23 for adults. Only, July, August and the first half of September is open to tourists. That's only been going since about 92. There's also the Queen's Gallery with some of her art collection, the Queen's Mews with some of her carriages and cars. You can see that. You can buy a joint ticket for all three for a reduced price. There's another Royal Palace, Clarence House, very close by, which is also open at certain times of year. So, you can see it's actually not that enormous, Buckingham Palace, but bear in mind that when this was completed a century ago, there were no skyscrapers around. Oddly, some of the windows at the top floor are always open. There are guard boxes out there. You can perhaps see the guards. There are 5 regiments of foot guards, Coldstream Guards, Grenadier Guards, Scots Guards, Irish Guards and Welsh Guards. That's their in order of foundation. And here they are in their ceremonial dress, red tunics with a black bearskin hats. The hats really are made from bearskin. If looked after properly, they can last a century. They did experiment with synthetic materials, not found to be satisfactory. So you'll see them at the change of the guard, starting at 11 o'clock every morning in summer, alternate mornings in winter, unless there's very inclement weather. So these are guardsmen outside of Buckingham Palace. People sometimes ask, are the weapons loaded? No, but the bayonets are real. There's no reason why their guns need to be loaded, because they're here for ceremonial purposes. There are other people who could put paid to you if you enter there with evil intent. Incidentally, trespass in a royal palace or gardens is a crime. It's not just a civil wrong. So what else should I point out? If we turn around here, you'll see this large square in front of Buckingham Palace. You can't really make out because it's quite dim, but the road is red because it's a royal road. We're in royal parks, and protests are not allowed in royal parks. Here's this huge fountain, which is a memorial to Victoria, the Queen of the United Kingdom, Empress of India. And there are various symbols of industry and agriculture around. The man with his enormous hammer, the woman with her sickle, lots of lions. Queen Victoria in a motherly pose in the middle. The prows of various ships, and then the goddess Victoria from Roman mythology up high. The street beyond it's called the Mall, leads down to Admiralty Arch, which is the Deputy Prime Minister's residence. There is no Deputy PM at the moment, and Trafalgar Square beyond. Well, you can't really see it, but there are various gates which are open permanently around this square, and there are pillars in the gates, and they all mentioned territories which were formerly part of the British Empire, like, let's say, West Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and so forth. Oddly, Canada and New Zealand are two different pillars, but that's because Newfoundland was not part of Canada until 1949. So that's about all that I can usefully tell you from this angle about Buckingham Palace at the moment.